Welcome to How's Your ePresence? This is a show produced by ePresence, and I am Mark Galvin, your host. We're so glad that you are with us today. As you know, we are always here trying to help you find out new things about digital marketing or anything that has to do with marketing. Today, we're going to really talk about some cool stuff about digital marketing. We always tee up our show with a little bit of how to, right? So how do I fill in the blank? We answered some great questions lately. So for example, how can you get comfortable on video for social media? We're always wondering about that. How I got to do video for my social media. I'm not comfortable with that. How can you get comfortable? We talked about that. How about this? What is the marketing strategy model? We had somebody from Cox Media Group here in Atlanta join us for a chat about that. That was fantastic. How about this? How to build a better email list. We all need to know how to do that. So we have had recent shows about those topics. We are always looking for great new topics. We think we know all the stuff that you guys want to know about, but you and I both know that ain't true. So we'd like for you to let us know if there's something you'd like for us to address. You can hit us on any of our social media channels. You can drop it right here in the comments of this channel, and we'll answer those questions. And maybe you know someone who would be a great guest on our show. Bring them on. Let us know who they are. We'll reach out to them and we'll get them to show up here as a guest, and we can share the knowledge that you probably already know that they know, but still love to share that with our audience. Our website is ePresence.me. That's ePresence.me because it's all about you, and you can also send your comments there. So here we are, middle of a show. If you have a question, feel free to jump in and throw them in the comments here on either Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, and we will answer those questions on the fly. This is this is what's great about doing live video. We can respond to you, and this is a pretty casual type of broadcast. So feel free to jump in. We'll answer those questions. And be sure, and here's the thing. If there's a question you come up with where you stump our guest, I'll send you a Yeti mug. How about that? We have ePresence Yeti mugs. You stump our guest. And by the way, I'm pretty confident you're not going to be able to today, but I'll send you a Yeti mug. What are we going to talk about today? Well, I think that you're going to find this really interesting. We're going to talk about what is sales copy and how can you screw that up? How about this? What is a landing page and how can they help the sales process? We're also going to talk about ways that you can identify that you've got the very best copywriter for you and the work that you're doing. In the future, you want to get back to this show, just simply remember this. Look up ePresence, how to make your landing pages work, because we're going to really focus on landing pages today. As always, we'd love for you to subscribe. So hit that subscribe button down there. There we go. Subscribe to our channel. That way you know when we go live and you can pop on and ask us a question right in the middle of the show. Where am I? All right, great. So here's what we got. We have a wonderful guest today. Our guest is Alyson Lex. She is a landing page specialist, and I'm giving her that title. You have to see if that fits. She's a direct response copywriter, which means she makes magic happen on sales letters, landing page, lead magnets, and email campaigns. She's with an organization called Glazer-Kennedy Insider Circle, which is arguably the leading authority on all things direct response marketing. She has, her copy has contributed to millions of dollars of sales of events, products, coaching programs, and memberships. She and Jenny Wright, who has been a guest on our show, hosts a podcast called System to Thrive. And on her podcast, she helps you build a business without being sleazy. And we definitely want to build our business without being sleazy. On landing pages, she's written some that have increased the opt-in rate by 82+%. Unbelievable. So I am very excited to have Alyson join us today. So big round of applause. Let's hear it. There she is. Yay! Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait for it. All right. We're so glad that you're here. How are you, Alyson?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to be here.
You and I have had a chat before. We jumped on the phone And I was amazed at the type of information that you just have, it's in your DNA. You just start talking about it and it's just natural. So I cannot wait to see what you have up your sleeve for our guests, for our audience today.
I'm excited. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. You call me a landing page specialist, so that's a bit of a high bar for me to fit.
Well, from what you've already shared, I got a feeling you have some other. I may be underselling some of your other talents, but landing pages are one of those things that, in fact, I was talking about a landing page with a new client today. Landing pages are, you and I know what they mean, but I'd love to hear from the expert. How do you describe a landing page to your clients or somebody who doesn't know anything about them?
So a landing page, there are a couple different terms, right? So you have landing page, opt-in page, squeeze page.
Ooh, squeeze page.
Squeeze page. I'll tell you why in a minute, but all of those mean the same thing. Basically, its sole job, its only job is to get someone to sign up for something for free. You want their name and their email address. And,
right.
You've talked about, or you mentioned we're going to talk about how to get them to convert. So remember, name and email address. You don't want navigation. You don't want, hey, watch this blog or watch this video, read this blog post, check out this post, go here, do that, check out my services, work with me. But you don't want any of that on there. It is literally get this thing or click the X. And that's why it's called squeeze. They squeeze you into the funnel.
And so this is an important highlight. When someone lands on one of these pages, what we want it to do is be just seamless and easy. There's no trickery, so to speak. They land there and I go, yeah, I want to give you my name and my email. Let me do this. And I do it easily and there's no question. I don't have to check all these other boxes to get there, right?
Right. Now, there are a couple of exceptions to the no links rule.
Yeah.
If you are promoting this landing page on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, any of the socials, you will need, especially if you're running ads, a privacy policy and a terms and conditions link down at the bottom. Those are the only links.
All right. So they don't actually have to hit those, but they have to be on the page.
They do, because when you go to especially run ads on these networks, that's part of the ad approval process, is to make sure that those things are in existence.
Great.
You mentioned, go ahead.
No, rock up. Go ahead.
You mentioned about checkboxes. So there are some companies that are utilizing checkboxes for permission. I explicitly grant permission for you to market. You know what I mean? Like, I want to check to opt in. A lot of people are going in that direction because of updated privacy laws and canned spam and things like that. Not a lawyer, not your lawyer. I don't think it's required.
I got it. I noticed that, as a matter of fact, today I landed on a landing page and it was actually a MailChimp link. And they had a little box there that said, you understand you're opting into this page. And so evidently that is, I wonder if MailChimp's requiring that. I don't think so, because we use MailChimp and I don't remember seeing that. So they threw that in there. They probably have a lawyer that says, you got to add this.
It's very possible. I know that MailChimp is one of the strictest of the email marketing systems out there, as far as what they require, as far as double opt-in and, who they'll allow on their platform. They'll shut you down in an instant, that kind of stuff. So they're very strict, and that's why they're able to keep their deliverability rates.
Yeah, I will tell you, there have been some hoops that we've had to jump through with MailChimp that have been a little maddening, but I totally get why. Okay, so we know what a landing page is now. Why do I care what a landing page is? Why do I need this? And I understand it does this conversion stuff, but who cares?
So when you're creating your marketing, you really have two ways that you can market. You can market with the help of automation, and you can market without the help of automation.
Yeah.
Without automation basically means that it's one-on-one all the time, trying to manage the buying journey for your people. And depending on what your business is, that might be the way you need to go. So
That sounds
you
like
may
a
not.
nightmare.
It does, doesn't it?
Just
I
saying.
used to work for a software company, and we had a sales team, and that's all they did was work one-to-one. They would find a lead, they would call the lead, they would qualify the lead, they would sell to the lead, right? That was what they did.
Right.
If that's the way that you need to or want to run your business, cool. You can probably go ahead and stop watching. I mean, I don't want to tell anybody to stop watching, but you could
Don't
stop
stop watching. Don't stop listening either. No, but honestly, if there's someone that's doing that, if that's your goal and that's how you want to run, that's fine. But I would recommend that you have a good reason to do that. Maybe you're in a high touch environment where your clients, Alyson, I got an example. I use Calendly, right?
Mm-hmm.
You booked this show through Calendly, and I really like Calendly. You click the link and find something that works for you. And a lot of people who I see, other folks that are using Calendly, they will say, click here to find the best time for you, or click here to check my calendar. And it's all about me when you say that. So when I offer it, I say, click here and share your best availability, or share the time that you find most convenient about you. Here's why. There's a lot of people who just think that's freaky, right? That's kind of those are kind of those people. If those were my primary target, those are folks that I probably want to have a direct contact with. If that was my primary, where my revenue's coming up, that would make sense. Just make sure you're thinking about it, because the automation tools are fantastic. Great. What are those automation tools, and how does that work?
Yeah. So, well, first, you want to know a landing page because it is this automation tool. Instead of now having to look through the internet, I was going to say the yellow pages, but those don't really happen anymore. But instead,
I swear to God, no joke, I got yellow pages at my front door yesterday. Now, the book, remember, it used to be like this thick. It was like this big. Yeah, teeny weeny. Absolutely. Still there. Unbelievable.
But so instead of having to scour the world for leads, now they come to you a little bit. And I say a little bit because you still have to go out there and let them know that this thing is there for them.
Right.
But when you have a landing page, when you have a lead magnet, so I think we can't really talk about landing pages without talking about lead magnets, which is something valuable that you give away for free in exchange for a name and an email address and permission to contact them. A lot of places, I mean, a lot of times, unless you have a lawyer requiring that little checkbox, them opting in is that permission that says, yes, I have this problem. I'm interested in your solution. I'm interested to hear from you.
Got it.
When you can do that, when you can put that little automation together, and then you put it out there on social, you maybe share about it on podcasts, you do all this, that, and the other thing. Now, Joe Schmo signs up for your email list, and hey, Joe Schmo has the problem that I'm solving.
Yeah,
Joe
your
Schmo
audience
is a lead that's at least this qualified, right? We need them to be this
self-identified at that too, right?
They have raised their hand. They have
Right.
self-identified.
Yeah.
That's the automation that is so important. And then we were just talking about MailChimp. Well, now you can take it a step further and say, I want to send Joe Schmo an email. And instead of me having to check my stats all the time and type out my email all the time, I use ActiveCampaign. That's just a preference. I can have my ActiveCampaign automatically send an email to Joe Schmo that says, Joe, super stoked that you've decided to grab my XYZ resource. Grab it here and connect with me there. Give Joe Schmo the next steps. I don't have to touch it. It just happens.
So I think this is fascinating because there's a couple of things here. And first of all, I think the average user certainly understands, okay, great, email list, fantastic. So some questions come to mind. The skeptic would say, so why would they give you their email and name, first of all? And don't people just delete those emails? How do you talk about those things? And let's talk about that. Why would they do that? Why would they give you that stuff? That's a question.
Yeah, that's a great question. They are going to give you their name and email address for the same reason that they would buy your product and or your service. And it's because you're promising them that it's going to be worth it. At the end of the day, that's really in the simplest terms that I can put it. They believe when you say that it'll be worth it. What that means is you have clearly identified that they have a problem to which you have the solution, and that you are willing to give them that solution in exchange for something they have.
Yep. That makes sense.
When you sell it to them, that something that they have is money. When you're offering it for free, that something that they have is information and permission and relationship.
Got it.
So go ahead. You have a question.
How hard is that? Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. And maybe I'm reaching too far.
It's okay.
Those that watch this show know I've said this before. Nobody likes to be sold to. Everybody loves to buy. So when I see something I want, I like buying it, right? If I see something that I'm interested in, I don't have a problem being sold to, so to speak. So let's assume that. All right. So someone has clicked into an ad that's appeared on Facebook, let's just say, right? It shows up in the feed like, oh, I'm interested. They click that. It'll take them to a page, landing page. And on that page, it says, here's something that we think that you will find valuable because you clicked over there. And if you give us your name and email, we'll give it to you for free. If they're the right target audience, they're very likely to do that. That's ultimately the mission. Is that right?
Correct. It is.
So the question is, how do you get them to do that? What is it that I need to make sure that I do on that landing page to make them click and give me their info?
Okay. So it's so funny because I'm actually in the middle of putting together a workshop on this. So maybe I am like the landing page expert, who knows? But you're going to start with what I call the big benefit-driven headline. And headline is the thing that gets their attention. Now, you already have their attention because they clicked over from, let's say, an ad.
Good.
That does not mean you don't have to get it again. Okay? Because in whatever loading time, it could be 0.002 seconds. Trust me, something else is popping up that wants their attention too. So you have to get their attention again with a
squirrel.
That's how I live my life, doesn't everyone?
Absolutely.
So big benefit-driven headline. I like to say you're going to make them a big promise about what they're going to discover when they spend the next couple of minutes with you.
Okay.
So I actually have a quick little headline formula, but I'll give it to you in a minute because I want to get the whole formula out, or the whole landing page format out. Then, depending on what you want them to opt in for, you may elect to do a quick little video. Hey, good to meet you. I'm so-and-so. Put a little bit of FaceTime in there because that builds trust. It builds familiarity.
Okay. You said may, you used the word may put in a video, but do you recommend that?
It depends on what you're offering. If you are asking them to download a PDF, a video is a bit much. If you are asking them to attend a 45 to 60-minute webinar, consider a video.
Oh, good.
If you are asking them to sign up for a 5-day challenge or a 5-day summit or something which requires a substantial time investment, a video is required. The more time you want, So, oh my goodness, I could go in like 85 different directions with this conversation, but
I love that.
there are different currencies. And I don't mean like, euro versus US dollar. Money is a currency. So is time, so is relationship, so is information, and so is attention.
Yep.
Whenever you're
All of it
asking
has
for
value. All of it.
everything has value. So the more of those 5 things that you're asking of people, the more you need to give them up front to get it.
That's a great way. I really like the way you're providing the framework to determine what should you do a video or not. I think that's really wise. So the more currency, the more stuff you got to give.
Yes. So after the video, that's when I put a little button or a little form, or maybe I put it next to the video. The design of it is a little flexible. All right. There's one thing that's not flexible. I want that headline, that video if it exists, and that form or button to be what's called above the fold. Pardon me, that's stuck in my throat. Above the fold.
The fold stuck in your throat, did you just say?
No, the word. So above the fold is a newspaper term.
Right.
And it's from back in the day, and I think they're still around, but not so much in the last year or so, but newsstands would have stacks of like the New York Times. And they would always put it with the top half of the front page facing up.
Right.
That's where the most sensational stuff was.
It's the prime real estate, right?
It's the prime real estate, and it was literally above the fold. So
how does that translate to my web page?
I want it on their screen before they scroll.
Okay, so it's really and I wouldn't say, there's some people say, well, what if their screen is magnified? You don't worry about that. It's a standard look, just above that fold in general.
Yes. And
got it.
The majority of your traffic is likely going to be mobile, depending on your industry. I do not want you to worry as much about mobile above the fold as you do about desktop and tablet.
Okay.
We are much more forgiving about scrolling on one of these phone things than we are about on our computer.
Totally get that. Yeah.
So that's the above the fold. That's one part. Now, I'm going to try and keep this short and quick, but it's hard. You're like,
I am not going to stop you. This is such good information. Honestly, it's so good.
What you're really thinking is, Alyson, that ship sailed 22 minutes ago. But so now it's time to give them a little bit more information about what they can expect to receive and what it means for them.
Got it.
Right? I might say something like, in this 49-minute on-demand presentation, you'll discover, and I'll give them 3 bullet points about 3 topics I covered in that on-demand video. Or I might say, in this quick 10-page PDF, you're going to get 3 bullet points.
Sure.
Right? So a little bit more information about what they can expect. Then, again, depending on how much you're asking of them, as far as time and attention investment, you may need to do a who is this for, who is it not for.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to do just a little bit more pain, like, hey, here's some of the problem that I'm seeing and why I've put this thing together, especially appropriate for events. And then on every landing page, this is kind of weird, and a lot of people don't do this, I want a bio of you with a picture. Especially when you're going to a cold ad generated audience. So a cold audience is one that doesn't know much about you. If anything, let's let them get to see you and get to know you and know why you're the person.
Let's tease that out. If I am a business owner and I don't want me to be connected to the brand, what do you do then?
So then you can do a little bit more about the company.
Okay.
If you have any kind of mascot. So, I don't know why, but
mascot.
I'm thinking about,
Where's my cat?
The Prophet. I've kicked mine all out of the room. But I watched The Prophet, and I think there's the Barclays Barkery or something. They've got a pet store, and I'm imagining like a shaggy dog. as their mascot if they don't have a person that is the brand. If it's not your personal brand, that's okay.
So would this be like the gecko on the Geico commercials kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a very cheesy version of the mascot, but
Yeah.
you can
Jake
always do something
from
like that.
State Farm?
Jake from State Farm.
All right.
Flo from Progressive.
I mean,
what's up with
I'm
the
not
insurance
calling him a
companies?
mascot, but it is a personality, and ultimately that's what we're talking about. Mascots are a personality.
Yes.
He is a personality that's now associated with
that someone
that
can
brand.
connect with.
Got it. Oh, so that's important. A personality that someone can connect with. So not necessarily just a mascot. It could be a real person.
It could, absolutely. It could be you. It could be someone in your office. There's a company called Digital Marketer that, it has a central owner. Well, now I think it has a board, but there was an owner, and he really made a conscious decision to kind of step back a little bit and elevate the presence of his employees and let the customers get to know those individual employees to the point where if those employees have left, they have taken like friends and followings with them.
Wow.
So
got it.
It's possible to build that in your business as well.
Got it. Okay. All right. I'm looking at the time.
I know.
There's so much here. The conversions is a question that's really valuable because that's where the dollars are really made, if you will. So let's ask this question. We may run a little bit over. What do you do if your stuff is not working?
Okay. The first step that you want to take if your stuff isn't working is look at the conversion checkpoints. So I want to go back to the example that you and I used earlier. Okay. Add to landing page. All right. That's a very simple, it is a funnel. If you've heard the word marketing funnel, it is a 2-step funnel. Okay. Add, landing page, maybe a thank you page. So the first conversion checkpoint in that part of the world is the ad, clicking on the ad. And then they have to land on the landing page and opt in. Okay, so there's 3 now places that they could stop converting. Clicking on the ad, landing on the landing page, and opting in.
Right.
If you get a lot of clicks and a lot of people on the page, and I know I've split that up, I'll talk about that in a second. If you get a lot of clicks and people opting in or landing on the page, but not a lot of people opting in, you have an opt-in page problem.
Right.
But if you're getting a lot of impressions on the ad and not a lot of clicks, you have an ad problem.
Yeah. That's what's great about the analytics. You can really nail that down.
If you're getting a lot of clicks, but not a lot of people are actually hitting the page, so you have data on your landing page thing, people aren't hitting, but they're clicking, you have a technology problem. You have a loading speed problem. So it not only helps you determine have you ever clicked on an ad on your phone and it takes 4 seconds to load?
100%.
And you have noped out by second 2.
Right. I'm out. Yeah.
That's a technology problem. Okay. And so every part of your funnel has checkpoints like that. Let's go even further. They've opted in. You've got great clicks, great traffic, great opt-ins, but nobody's actually reading the thing. You have an email problem. Or maybe they're reading it, but they're not taking the action that you've outlined. Well, that's a call to action problem. So every single thing.
Alyson, I'll tell you, this is the part where you go, oh my God, there's a lot to this. There's layers and layers of stuff that you have to worry about. If I own a company, do I really want to do all this myself?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. But it's important for me to understand.
Yes.
You're absolutely right.
It's
important for me to understand all these, right? Yes. Where I can look at, okay, here's my data, and I get the report, and no one else in the room is saying this, but I can easily say, wait a minute, they're clicking the ad, but we're not seeing them hit the website. What's wrong with our technology? it is good to know this so you can analyze this. If you are a new marketer and maybe you're sitting in a college somewhere, you're listening to this, you should understand, okay, these are the things that I would need to check off to make sure that we're solving, and it will make you look really smart, or it will make you smart. So I would say, Alyson, I'm not surprised by this at all. We could go for another hour. We're a 30-minute show, and that really stinks. But I want to kind of close it down there, but I would like I'd like your permission to call you back to
I was
maybe do this again in a little bit.
Talk about some more stuff. Sure thing.
That's good, because there's so many other things that we can talk about. And I think that we could do a whole show just talking about those conversions. And then, great, website's not loading. Where do you go first? What are you supposed to fix on that? Because we do like to do some of the how-tos.
Yeah.
There's a lot of information there's a lot of smoke and mirrors in digital. Yeah. And here's a good example. We can talk about this. There are some landing pages that give you a phone number. Okay, great. How do you track that phone number? Well, you want that to go through a system which will track that somebody actually dialed that number from that ad. These are all the ways that you ensure that you are able to provide data on your ads. It's all digital. It's all trackable. That's the beautiful part of this. So, Alyson, you're just awesome. I am sorry we don't have a longer show. Tell everybody this. How can people best find you? Where do you want people to go?
My home on the internet is alysonlex.com, and that is ALYSONLEX.com. And I have it on good authority that you have some links to all my socials and stuff right on the show notes page. So I think people can probably just head there.
And tell everybody again, what is the name of your podcast?
The name of my podcast is System to Thrive, and it's so much fun. I love it.
And you do that show with, I said this before, but who?
Jenny Wright, who was just on helping learn how to build an email list.
Yeah, so you guys can see why these two wonderful professionals get together to do a podcast, because each of these, your specialties complement each other, and you two are able to support the mission of any organization, because this is a component of a full marketing package. And I will tell you guys, if not sooner, by the end of the year, you're going to see that ePresence is going to do some work. So with both Alyson and Jenny, we are going to, I can already tell this, we're going to develop some sort of, either we are using them or we have clients using them, because they help us, will help ePresence be more effective and give our clients a little better bang for your buck. Hey, Alyson, two things. Great content. Thank you very much. And you are cool. It is fun to hang out with you. So whenever we have really cool guests, even if they don't have good content, I just like having them back because it's fun. But you have both. So it's like, batting 1,000. So we'll definitely have you come back. Thank you so much. Alyson, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Talk soon.
So for the rest of you folks, thank you for being here and checking out How's Your ePresence. We're always trying to give you great content. Today is a really, really great show. So make sure you save this and share this with all of your business friends. They need to hear this content. It was absolutely wonderful. What do we do at ePresence? We're a full-service social media agency. So you can now see, if you didn't know that already, why Alyson's so important. So we will produce the ads that would go to a landing page that potentially she would write, and make sure that those ads are converting. We handle company, personal, collegiate. We are now working with lawyers to do social media audits for their clients, or the competition for that matter. And that's called eForensics. We're also doing consulting and webinars, you name it. So if you would, you can respond right here on this channel. Make it easy for you. Just go right down to comments. If you have a question for us, you'd like for us to reach out to you, let us know there, or go to our website. Our website is ePresence.me. That's ePresence.me, because it's all about you. So How's Your ePresence? It's everywhere. We're always trying to create great quality content. Make sure you subscribe to the show so you hear when we go live. So I always do that. It's that way. Alyson, you and I were talking about that whole mirror image thing. I get confused too. But right there, hit the subscribe button and you can get notified when we go live. If you like today's content, I already said that. If you're a podcast listener, this show is dropped as a podcast. We'll be everywhere: iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. Everywhere you listen to podcasts, you can catch us. Also, we're on the Amazon Echo. I go to my kitchen and I say, hey, I don't want to say it out loud because she's right there. And she'll start playing the news for me. You can add us to that. We add content every week, so you can always get brand new info. So we have brand new podcasts that we're dropping all the time. And you can always go to our website, epresence.me/podcast, to get to all of our shows. This show is produced by ePresence, and our producer, writer, social media extraordinaire, the best producer in all of producery is Morgan Wood. Morgan, we appreciate the work you do. Until next time, for my guest, Alyson Lex, I'm Mark Galvin, and this has been How's Your ePresence?